Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Artist's Mindset. I'm your host Martina, and in today's episode, I would like to talk about perfectionism. Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Artist's Mindset. And in today's episode, I really want to talk to you about perfection and how that kills our creative spirit as artists. And just before I started, I have to tell you a little anecdote. I've been trying to make the lights perfect and the background perfect and everything perfect, because I also struggle with perfection as an artist. And I think it's one of the things that I learned in the art school when I studied my diploma in toy design, which on one hand is good. I think especially if you are trying to design something for kids or people or anyone to use it, of course you will do your best to make it sort of perfect, right? So nobody gets hurt or nothing really happens. So it is good to think of sort of all the possibilities, but I think as an artist, when we think of creative expression, you should really allow yourself to express yourself freely, without any judgment and without feeling like you have to make things perfect. And I've been trying to make this space perfect, and I'm laughing a lot now because I give up. After some time, I actually gave up, and that's the one thing that I want to share with you and pass on to you as well. As you can see or hear, maybe you're just audio listener, I'm currently in my bed. This is where I sleep. So there is nothing glorious about it. It's literally just my pillows and my blanket right here in the background. And that's it. And before I started recording this episode, I got inspired the other day by other creators on YouTube. Somebody's walking on the corridor. I live in the attic. You could say attic. Like, that's why this wall is a bit not straight, because that's the roof. So I'm just waiting for them to leave. So it's quiet, but I think it's okay. I think it's not going to affect the sound. Oh gosh, they're talking. Okay. So the other day I got inspired by other creators on YouTube, podcasters specifically, and I noticed that a lot of them put in the background these kind of colorful lights, to make the atmosphere. So I thought, wow, that's really cool. I have some kind of lights like this, this kind of fairy lights, you could say. Then maybe I could put in the background. And I cleaned my house today completely, which, by the way, is amazing. If you have OCD like me or you're a perfectionist, just go and clean to satisfy your spirit and clean your mind, because that's perfect start of the day if you don't feel so creative, because then you can get all your creative judgment, perfectionism out of the way and have clean space and clear mind and sound spirit. So I cleaned the house, right? And my window that I have on the other side of the room, I have flowers on it and I have a candle, and now I cleaned it. I washed all my stones. I am a collector of stones, by the way. I have too many, but they're beautiful. I love them. And what happened is that I saw the window and I thought, wow, that would be such a gorgeous background for this podcast. I should use that. And I went and I got the fairy lights and I put them on the window, and it didn't look good. It did not look good at all. And I've been trying to put the lights in different positions so they are not like facing the camera, because I feel like that's very heavy and too bright. I've been trying to move my camera more away, so the background is more further away from me when I speak. It also didn't look good. I tried different lights. I have like 4 different lights in my room, so I tried everything, all different combinations. And at the end, I give up. And let me tell you, this is what I have now. This is like a salt lamp, for those of you that are just listening. That's why my face looks a little bit orangey. So that's a salt lamp. It's like this huge orange stone that has a little light inside. And it's very calming and very natural, I feel like. It reminds me a lot of the sunset. And, I've been trying to change the settings and backgrounds and different things, and it didn't work. And then I just gave up. I put my camera in front of my bed just to, put it there to wait while I find the perfect background and setting. And then I just look into the camera and I turn on the salt lamp and I thought, okay, that doesn't look so bad. And I gave up. And why I'm telling you this story is that sometimes you have to remember that perfect doesn't exist. And perfect is something that you set in your mind, and at the end of the day, it's only a feeling. And there will be times that it doesn't feel perfect and it doesn't feel right, no matter what you do, like me today. And you just have to let go of this perception that it will be perfect. And you have to stop focusing on how to make things right and perfect. And maybe you just need to take a deep breath in that moment and pause for a minute and also step away from whatever you are doing. I think that's also very important as an artist. It's one of the things I learned in school when I had to do a lot of art assignments, and you simply don't have time to, I would say, let the ideas or things you're working on marinate in your mind for enough time so that then they naturally fall into place. But then you have to create this space yourself. And you can do that by just simply allowing yourself to pause for a second and maybe step out of the room, maybe go for a walk, maybe eat something, maybe have a coffee, whatever it is, talk to a friend, call your mother. Just pause for a second, because the time is not gonna slip away. And that's another thing you have to acknowledge, I think. I'm saying you, but I'm still learning as well, is that time will not go away. I know it seems like everything is moving very fast and it's very easy to miss out on things, and like the time is just gonna slip, and it is slipping through our fingers and we are just desperately trying to grasp it. But actually, the more you do that and the more you let yourself to be stressed and rush, it's like with the mud. If you are stuck in a swamp or in a mud, you will only get faster and deeper down in that mud or that swamp by moving faster and panicking. Whereas if you pause for a second and you slow down and take slower, longer steps, that's how you get out of the swamp. And that's how you can also get out of this, I would even dare to say, toxic mindset of trying to be perfect. So the moral of this story is that nothing is perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. And we have to be grateful for the beautiful things that we have in life, and simply also for the errors and imperfections in things and life and everything we do. And if I learned something from this episode, then is that it's not bad to look at yourself and simply laugh at what you did wrong or how stubborn you were in that moment. You know, it is like when something happens in your life and it seems tragic in the moment, but actually then you realize that a few weeks later or even a few years later, as you are going to be telling the story, you're going to be laughing. So don't judge yourself too much. Don't judge yourself for any mistakes you do. And don't try to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. And imperfection is actually what makes us unique and beautiful. And I hope that that's something that you take with you from this episode. And I hope that you learned something as well as me from today's episode and an anecdote. I hope you can relate. Let me know down in the comments your own story, if you also struggle with perfectionism like me. And that's all from me. I wish you a lot of love and compassion to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and don't forget to also sometimes laugh at your mistakes, because that's what makes us unique and that's what makes us human. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, consider subscribing. I release new episodes every Monday, and once a month I release a guest episode, which is longer and much more interesting than me talking alone on the camera. But that's all from me for today. And I hope you enjoyed it, and have a beautiful start of the week and beautiful Monday. Bye!